Here we are today. It's January 28th, and thank you for coming to the program here. This is the Sedona Connection. I want to welcome everybody for joining us either on Facebook live streaming or on free conference call. Well, tonight I don't have a lot of specific information, but I'm going to just do some general conversation about some different stuff that's going on out there that's really interesting. There's a lot of different channelers, astrologers, just kind of seers, if you want to call them that, are saying that 2026 is one of those dynamic years that's going to be a year of change. There's going to be a lot of change coming, and that's going to happen to us. Now, you want to know one of the first things that we've seen a dynamic change is, I did put this out in the newsletter last week, is the price of silver. Oh my gosh, my gosh. When I bought silver myself for the first time, it was back in about January. I think I got it for right around $30 an ounce. And as I'm going right now to the live price, it is right now at $117.70 an ounce. And folks, what I have been told is that you're still not too late. Most of the experts are projecting that silver is going to go $200 to $300 an ounce. And it's because what's happening is all of a sudden the demand has exploded and the supply is limited, or it's not all that strong. One of the biggest reasons is Mexico produces about 70% of the world's silver. And so they're holding it back and letting the price continue to go up and up so they can make a lot of money on the silver that they're bringing out of their mines. So the silver prices, my gosh, I was fortunate. I still have about 275 ounces left, but back in I think it was back in, around January, February, I had almost 2,000 ounces of silver. I thought, oh my gosh, I wouldn't even want to begin to think if I had that today. All right, okay, I'll be a little egotistical here. I'm going to pull out my calculator, and what would happen if I had 2,000 ounces of silver at $117 an ounce? Oh, that means, wrong one, 200 times. Wait, all right, now come on, let's go back. I missed it there. All right, okay, let me see here now. Silver is 117, and it's funny. I don't, whatever. It's okay. Oh, I did 200. That's why I was getting them mixed up here. Now, 117.5 times, it was 2,000 is what I said I had. I'd only have about $240,000 today if I would have held that silver, but it is what it is, and life goes on, and who knows? I had no idea it was going to go like that, but I'm not selling my silver now, that's for certain. But that's where it's at now, okay? So that's one of the things, that silver prices are just still constantly exploding, okay? All right, now, there's another thing I want to talk about. Out in the world, in the political world, in the other world, there's a lot of drama that is going on out there. And I've talked about in the past how important it is to not be a participant in the drama. Because this drama stuff that's going on, especially right now, if you're watching the stuff that's taking place in Minneapolis and all that kind of crazy stuff, it has a tendency to want to suck you in, but it's sucking you into a very low vibration. All this drama that goes on in our society and around the world, most of it is designed and played out by these extremely powerful cabal people because they want to suck us into its energy. They want to suck us into its drama. And when we do that, our energy vibration lowers, and if they can keep us in a low energy vibration, they control us, or they control the outcome. We are here to be people that are living in a higher consciousness, in a higher vibrational state than what the world wants to throw at us. So what do I say when all of this begins to happen? What I say is be the observer, because you can't get away with it unless you're just going to totally shut off all the news, Facebook and everything else. But be the observer and not the participant in its energy. Don't judge it. Just let it be. And I'm going to come back to what I've shared now a couple times. We have to remember we live in a world that is basically a holographic illusion. Now, this is based on quantum physics, folks. This is not just me saying this. We live in a world that at its very base reality is basically a holographic illusion, which means it's not real. What we observe is not real, but when we participate and put our energy in it, we experience it as being real, but in the reality, none of it's taking place. I know that's a little complicated to understand, but if you go into Facebook and just start doing your own research about holographic illusion and what it means and what the impact, what it does when we see it as a holographic illusion, when we see it as basically something that isn't real, we have the ability to rise above all of the drama that is out there. The drama doesn't impact us. The drama doesn't suck us in. We're not becoming an energetic participant to lower our vibration and keep us, we're in a situation where we're lower vibration people. If you want to change this world, you can't do it by controlling the external circumstances. We change the world by becoming high vibrational beings and rise above it, because when we do that, we start bringing it with us into our vibrational level. We become the ones that have the power and the control over what is going on around us instead of all of that. So if all the drama stuff that's going on out there, let it be. Just let it be. There's no need to be heavily involved in that. Now, as I said, this is a year that they're projecting there's going to be a lot of change. And I am amazed at what I call intuitives, and channelers, and astrologers that are saying this is the year there's going to be the financial collapse. What does that mean? I have told you before, if you have discretionary money you don't need for your everyday living expenses, take it out of the bank. Put it into something that is safe. And the safest thing is almost always gold and silver. Because when economies start to collapse, gold and silver continue to go up, because that's what people run to as a place of safety and security. Gold and silver is a good start. A second start is you can purchase very, very strong, safe and secure bonds from very large companies that put bonds out that are solid companies that are going to still be here when the economy collapses. The other thing is, I was thinking of some other stuff also that, right off. And real estate. Real estate is always safe and secure, but you want to put it in a place, if you're going to purchase any real estate, purchase it in a place that you know is also safe. Because when we go back to the COVID issue that hit around 2000, real estate exploded because of the COVID scenario, because people were moving out of the places like New York and Los Angeles and New Jersey and etc. And they started moving to safer places. And what it did, it created a shift in the real estate markets. And so make sure you're in a place that real estate is going to stay safe. You want to know the safest real estate to purchase? Bread and butter homes that people are always going to have to rent. Basically, middle class rental properties that will always be in demand because they can't afford to buy a house. That's usually your safest real estate. Now, that's just an example. There's other things I could talk about as well. But put your money, your discretionary funds, into a safe place. Okay? Now, the other thing that they're saying is that The control structure of our world, those that are in the cabal that run and control our system, their systems are going to collapse. We're going to see a lot of the systems that we have always counted on are going to start collapsing. Why? Because the financial structure around them is not safe. Now, the positive thing is these systems collapsing or starting to collapse. What I believe is this is the best thing for us because this is going to be the precursors for our funds to be released. Now, it's important to understand when the funds are released, we're not going to dictate to you and tell you what you're supposed to do with your funds. It's your money and it's your freedom. But what I can say is remember, you're going to have to sign new paperwork. Now, that does not happen until the funds are going to be released. But in there's going to be a new document. And in that document, you are going to basically give myself and the Dragon family members freedom to look at your bank accounts. Now, I have said this doesn't mean they're going to go out and hire 10 to 20,000 people watching your bank accounts every single day. There's one specific purpose. They are very, very adamant about making sure that this money does not end up in the hands of criminals, drug dealers, and terrorists. Because you see, they love cash, criminals, drug dealers, and terrorists. And we're going to give you a lot of cash. And so in the current banking system, they can basically step in and hack into checking accounts, etc., and stuff like that. Well, the people with the funds at the Texas processing office, they're going to say, be very careful where you put your funds, but also be willing to give a good chunk of your money away to help people in need. Now, what they're saying is when you receive your funds, first of all, take care of yourself. Take care of your family. Set up a trust for your children so that there will always be money for that as them for there. Go ahead and buy the things that you need. And I says, and if you want to buy a Mercedes, go buy a Mercedes. That's okay. Just don't buy 5 of them because you don't need 5, okay? Be practical. But also be looking, because if you're receiving millions and millions of dollars, how much do you need for yourself? Be willing to give a good chunk of money away to people in need. Because see, this is what they're looking for. They are looking for us to be instruments and tools to spread this money out around the world, helping people elevate themselves where people are in need. And what I mean by they'll watch your checking accounts, your funds accounts, they're going to be looking to see who's giving the money away. I can't say this exactly 100%, but it's pretty strong that those who are shown to be giving a good chunk of their money away are the ones who are going to continue to receive more. They are looking for people who are going to be vehicles of giving the money away. And Bob, you're saying, well, what about a Lamborghini? I think that's a little on the excessive side. You don't really think you need a Lamborghini, but I'm not going to judge you. That's your choice there, Bob. I know. Yeah, that's your joke, but thank you very much, okay? So, but folks, that's where we are. That's what's developing. That's what's taking place here, okay? And this is what we have taking place for everything that is going on. Now, I've had problems being able to know, okay, for the people that are, for people that are on Facebook live streaming, if you've got any questions, this is your good time to be willing to go ahead and just type your questions in there, okay? And then when I'm looking at that and I'm kind of done with that, it's going to take a little bit of a delay. It's going to take me maybe around, another 10 seconds or so before some of you start doing that. And then what I'll do, I'll go over to free conference call, and I got what is called the Q&A mode. I can open this up for questions and answers, and that you can basically kind of click on the link that you have there and let you know that you would like to come on to be able to ask a question. So, okay, because I think I finally have figured this out. I was gone, for all those months to Hong Kong, and we were still working on the new situation here. Okay, so you've got someone that is calling me. Okay, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and try to open this up. Okay, now I tried there. Are you there? Area code 817? All right, all right, all right, all right. Let's see what happened there. Uh, okay, there we go. Area code 817, are you there? Can you hear me? Well, you popped up on my screen. I'm trying to. I don't know why you're not coming through. I don't know why I can't hear you. So we're going to close that out because I can't hear you at all. I don't know what happened. I don't know what created the problem. But for some reason, okay. Oh, I think you tried to come in on Microsoft. So, all right, let's try this again. Okay. Um, okay. Laura Barton. Yes, we do have a different timeline. That information, when I said we were about 2 months out, was when I was receiving the information from the Dragon family when I was in Hong Kong. Well, that didn't work out very well. So we're basically back to forget anything I said about Hong Kong, and we're now back to the Texas processing office. We don't have anything from them. And Diana, you're asking about any word from our brokers. I don't have anything new from the brokers. So, okay. Now, Jamie, you're saying when I say they want us to spend, who are they? It's basically the funders, okay? It's the people who are putting up the money for us. They are the ones who have this bigger picture about being able to spread this money. Okay, did I unmute? Okay, I'm going to put it into the Q&A mode. Now, I didn't unmute. I'm sorry. For those of you on free conference call, I did unmute, so that is done. Okay? Now, do I think the situation that's happening in Iran is causing the delay with the currency exchange? Absolutely no. What goes on in Iran, Iraq has absolutely nothing to do with our currency exchange, as far as I know. So no, the external politics is that's just politics stuff that always goes on, and that's not going to shift or change us when the funds are going to be released. At least that's how I understand it. Okay? Now, okay, I have two questions. Okay, now first of all, let me come back to the Facebook and Kimberly Steele. We used to hear that having money in a credit union was less risky than FDIC insured banks because credit unions are member based, but as far as I know, credit unions are not Basel compliant. So wondering if they are safe. I'll check on that before we do that, okay? So, but remember, credit unions are member owned, so that's why I like having them, okay? Now, can I explain if the fiat system is failing and why would we be paid in fiat? Because it's the money that's spendable, that's why. Until the powers that be control and shift the situation of the currency of the world, you're going to get fiat money because that's what you can take into a store or a bank and spend. Okay? Now, how is the ambassador's health these days? I haven't talked with his family for about a little over a week, but they did say that he was in a stroke state. Now, he was awake, he could recognize and see them, and he could carry on a conversation that was kind of a minimal conversation with his family, but he couldn't remember anything about how any of this happened to him and everything else. So that's the latest. I haven't had an update with him beyond that. Now, Richard said, it says, not long ago you said the only thing left to do was meeting with Trump and the really that was the information that was coming from when I was in Hong Kong. That stuff is illegitimate. That they didn't tell me the real truth and all that. I do have stuff on live conference call. It's open, and I had muted everybody so that you can't call me. But it's going there because I've got 26 people that are still on there on free conference call, and it was up to almost 50 at one time. So okay, all right, now people with questions on I don't know how I get into you there. Uh, how I can Oh, okay. Now, Winnipeg, area code 204 on free conference call. I think you are there. Can you hear me? I saw you with the green button. That meant that you should have been live, and you're not there anymore, though. Okay, so we're going to remove that one. Okay, now we're back. Okay, I'm sorry. Well, somewhere there okay. Okay, Terry on, okay, so Terry on free conference call, you should be coming up. We're going to be able to go live with me, okay? I think I've got you so that your microphone is open. I don't know. I don't know what's happening there. I guess maybe hopefully by next week I'll do a little more study on that, okay? Okay, so now, uh, Mike, you're asking, what are my thoughts about the Admirals Group? All I know is that I can't give you solid information about all of it. It's a legitimate group. They are the ones that are based out of Reno. But what's important to know is that everything gets their money through the Texas Processing Office. Okay, even the Admirals Group gets their money from there. And I know some of you may be involved in that, but you have to ask them. All I know is that he's out there, he's legitimate, and there's a lot of people that are working with him, and that's all I can say, okay? Now, Susan, you're saying, when do the background checks start and who is doing them? The background checks start when we're going to be notified that we're getting paid, and I am the one that do that. I go online and I can do a background security check. If anybody, all I need is your social security number and a few other things like that, okay? So, and Laura, you're saying, is there any ideas from the Texas Processing Center when this money may move? No. They never pre-announce for security reasons. I get inside information for others that are associated with them that gives us an idea, but the Texas Processing Office will never give a date for security reasons, okay? Linda, you're saying, what if we buy cars for people that need them? Does this look like we are buying a bunch of cars for ourselves? No. Just do what you need to do. Don't buy 5 Mercedes or Lamborghinis. That's all. Okay? Be free to do what you want to do with your money. Is there any update on the bonds and the Zim notes? Bonds and Zims will be paid right after the dong is paid. Okay? Do you think having money in cryptocurrency exchange platform is safer than in the bank? I heard you say that in the past, but wonder if you still believe so and why. If not, is metals the only alternative to fiat in the bank? I do think there are some cryptos, the very strong ones that are very safe. Bitcoin and XRP are probably the two best to have, but you have to remember, they're very volatile. Those currencies can go up or down 5 to 10% in one day. Now, I have some money in XRP, And I think if things get really close and it looks like the banks are going to have some serious problems, that might be a place you might want to move your money to. But that's your choice on how you want to do that, okay? Greg, you're asking, can you give money to your family? Of course you can. Of course you can give your money wherever you want. It's your money to do with what you want to do, okay? We're not going to dictate and tell you what you can or cannot do with your money. We're just saying be kind and generous with what you have, okay? And giving it away to your family, that's a good way to do that, all right? Now, I think I've covered all the questions that I have here that have come in on Facebook. And I think then we've been here for, 31 minutes now in the program. That included, the first 3 or 4 minutes where I came on and then we were having trouble there. But I probably think we're probably ready to be done tonight. So unless there's any more very, very quick questions, okay, I think we're ready to call it an evening, all right? So I should be back next week. I don't have any reasons to not be. Okay, there was one that just came up. Originally, we were told that those of us who exchanged in Utah were the number one as sovereigns. Can you clarify if this is true? I have no idea because I have nothing to do with Utah and the Mearsman group and that group. That is a totally separate group, and you would have to ask them. I have no idea what it means that you were the number one as sovereigns. So there's a lot of different people that say a lot of different stuff. Pauline is asking, do I have any idea about taxes yet? No, and we probably won't know about taxes until it comes time to get paid. We don't know if this is going to be tax-free or not, but what I would recommend is plan on paying capital gains tax just to be safe. And then if you don't have to, then it's a bonus, okay? So that's basically what I would say with folks. All right? So I think then we're willing to call it a night. I'm going to I just shut off free conference call, and then I'm willing now here to end it for the evening for us here on Facebook, and I should be back next week. And remember, I do edit this program, and I'll send it out tomorrow as a YouTube video. You'll probably get it tomorrow afternoon through the mail, okay? All righty. Thanks a lot, folks. Okay. Good night.